Why was the Declaration of Independence written?
Well, in brief, by the summer of 1776, the men of the Continental Congress had largely agreed that they had reached a point of no return. But let me turn the clock back a little bit here. For at least a decade, American colonists have been protesting for more equal standing in the British political system. Now remember, this is the period of no taxation without representation. In other words, American colonists felt like they were suffering rule and had no real voice in government to do anything about it or to change policies. Over time, both sides were getting more entrenched and less willing to compromise. Now, really, the real breaking point, I think, happened a year prior in April 1775. The British military commanders in Boston, which had really become an epicenter of radical protests, sent troops to Lexington and Concord, Massachusetts. Now, what they wanted to do is seize the colony's military supplies and try to calm things down. This is when, if you know the story, Paul Revere rode ahead of the British column, warning everyone that the British are coming. Now, the next day at Lexington Green was what's called the shot heard around the world. In other words, the first shots really fired in what became the American Revolutionary War. In the following months, there were a few full-scale battles like the one at Bunker Hill. So that's a lot of key words that you may have heard of in U.S. history. Some delegates at the Continental Congress over coming months did hold out some hope for a peaceful resolution. For instance, in August, they sent what's called the Olive Branch Petition. The king refused to even read it, though, and in fact, he issued a proclamation of rebellion, basically stating these guys need to be put down with force. At the same time, the Continental Congress was then passing a declaration of the causes and necessity of taking up arms. And when the colonists then heard that the king was hiring mercenaries from around Europe to fight in a war, they realized they were in a very new and very dangerous world. So back to 1776 and meeting in Philadelphia, most delegates understood that they were seen as traitors and basically a full-scale war was inevitable. If they were going to be fighting a war, they reasoned, for their rights to self-representation and free trade, they would have to call upon their countrymen to sacrifice in this war. And if they hoped to attract international support, they figured they might as well make it official and declare independence.